So
Mm.
I have also adapted myself onto these cultures. Like for example, in China, I saw people taking a short nap just after the
Mm.
lunch, post lunch, just to get themselves recharged for the second half of the day. And this is something
Right.
very common in Indian cultures, right? In Indian workplaces,
Yes.
right? So, but this is what happens when you work in different cultures, right? So what
Mm.
I did is like I did not consider these things as challenges. However,
Mm.
I took these things as opportunities to learn,
Correct.
explore more about different cultures and working styles. Okay, so I
Okay.
adapted myself.
Hello and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast brought to you by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Priya George, and in today's episode, we have a truly distinguished guest, someone whose career journey exemplifies the transformative power of leadership and innovation in the tech and telecom industries. And today, we are diving deep into all of that and more with Mr. Asad Khan, a seasoned systems solution architect with over 19 years of experience in ICT, telecom infrastructure, and cloud solutions. Mr. Khan's journey spans across major global players, including Ericsson and Nokia, where he's been instrumental in deploying cutting edge solutions on cloud platforms, managing telecom infrastructure, and shaping the future of 5G and telecom cloud technology. From his hands on work in telco cloud technologies like OpenStack, OpenShift, Kubernetes, and Google Cloud to his leadership in cross functional teams across India and abroad, Mr. Khan's career is a testament to the evolving power of technology and leadership. Throughout this episode, we'll explore his expertise in telecom cloud platforms, the critical role of corporate governance in technology deployment, and how he has successfully managed complex global projects. So, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Asad Khan to FaceTime with Leaders. It's a pleasure to have you here, Mr. Khan.
Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure for being here. I mean, thanks for hosting me in FaceTime with Leaders. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, let's get straight to it. Mr. Khan, you've had such a rich and diverse career across telecom and cloud platforms, and I know our audience is eager to learn more about your journey. So let's take a step back. What was it that initially sparked your interest in this field, and how did you find your way into the roles you've had? We'd love for you to take us through some key moments and milestones that have shaped your professional path. We'd love to hear from you.
Definitely, definitely. So, uh, this is like this answer is always descriptive, and
Yes,
I would definitely like to deep dive here. So,
yes.
my interest in telecom goes back to my engineering days. I completed my engineering in electronics and communication in
Oh,
2005, and
okay.
it was a pivotal time for Indian telecom sector. Basically, the telecom revolution was taking off, and 2G networks were getting deployed all across the country. So there were
Okay.
many GSM and CDMA operators coming around,
Oh,
and companies like Ericsson, Nokia, Alcatel were all setting up their centers in India. Okay, and
right.
I thought this is the right time to dive in into the industry,
Mm,
and with
mm,
interest in wireless technologies and a degree in hand that is aligned with the industry needs, I
mm.
thought this is the best time to dive in. And that's where I started my career into the telecom sector. Although cloud
Okay.
was not there at that time at all. Okay, so
Okay.
I started off with as a telecom engineer.
Mm,
My initial 4 years were quite dynamic. I started my
okay.
career with a local project engineer role, installing equipment on sites, and
Okay.
transitioned. into a global technical support expert role within the initial 4 years. Okay, so this journey or this transformation has developed me technically and professionally both, and wherein I contributed a lot technically, and I worked with customers from all across the regions like Middle East, Europe, USA, and Asia. Then for my career, key points like a key turning point came in 2013 when I was offered to lead the team. And by 2015, I was promoted as a manager, leading a team of 7 engineers and supporting critical issues of telecom operators all across the globe with around 20 customers in hand. So this has shaped my professional career into leadership roles. I took some leadership decisions and I offered customer new offerings like on-site support, like training their staff, like performing their network audits, which opened new businesses for the organization. Later on, by 2016, another transformation, or you could say that a shift was underway. That started with virtualization and cloud computing. So it was the time when telecom and IT industries were converging and shaping up with the name we now known as ICT industry. Okay, information and communication technology. Okay, so that was the time when I took a courageous decision and consciously I stepped down from the role of a manager to a more hands-on, deep technical role, and which helped me to reinvent myself as a telco cloud data center engineer. So I transitioned myself into the cloud technologies, and I immerse deeply myself into the hands-on activities of telco cloud data centers. So by 2017, I took this role in Nokia, and this paid off in 2022 when I was being offered a cloud architect role in Ericsson. So this has validated my journey and the steps I have chosen. And till now, like I have been fortunate enough to work in all the flavors of telecom industry, from deployment to support, from audits to mentorship. And I also acted as a mentor during my whole career. I teach and I train new technologies to new joiners, to existing team members, something that I have always enjoyed. So this has shaped up my whole technical journey with the leadership as well as technical expertise.
Right. So your journey is clearly a reflection that you have donned many hats and you have worked from the ground up. So thank you for sharing that with us. Mr. Khan, you've had the unique opportunity to work in a variety of global markets from India, Europe, from the Middle East to Southeast Asia, and each of these regions has its own set of challenges and cultural nuances. From your experience, how do you see these cultural and regional differences influencing the way telecom infrastructure and cloud solutions being implemented? I'm curious, like, what are some of the specific challenges you faced when adapting these technologies to fit the needs of such diverse markets?
Okay, so definitely working with cross-cultural teams or diverse teams across the regions, across the globe, has its own nuances and challenges, I would say. See, the first challenge that you get is always working in a different time zone than your local time zone. But the main thing comes like how teams work, respond, and document the technologies that you are working on. Actually, the technology is universal. It is the same at everywhere. But how teams respond to them, okay, that this differs from region to region. So definitely, as you said, I had my own challenges and explorations on this diverse culture thing. Okay, so for example, in in the Asian part of the world, we see a more indirect kind of communication style, wherein they refer long sentences and descriptive explanations, and
Right.
they prefer long hour working, teamwork for problem solving, things like that. Wherein in the US and European regions, people are working more individualistic. Okay, so they communicate you in a bullet point based, concise manner. Okay, they had a preference. They have a preference of. Uh, I mean, the most thing that they prefer is work life balance and not long hours.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so this is something you see and you get adapted to. So I have also adapted myself onto these cultures. Like, for example, in China, I saw people taking a short nap just after the lunch, post lunch, just to get themselves recharged for the second half of the day. And this is
Right.
something very common in Indian cultures, right? In Indian workplaces,
Yes.
right? So, but this is what happens when you work in different cultures, right? So what I did is, like, I did not consider these things as challenges. However, I took these things as opportunities to learn,
Correct.
explore more about different cultures and working styles. Okay, so I adapted
Okay.
myself with different working styles. I always put myself into the other team's perspective and then
Correct.
learn from them. So that's how I
Right.
adapted to these cultural nuances.
Right, right. Mr. Khan, I was just wondering, like when the first time you must have, gone overseas, and which must have been like, a completely new culture or a region. Um, so there are two ways that you could approach it. Like you go into it with a lot of research and reading about the culture and the language and the food and the behavior and all of those. Or was it that you went into it like a blank slate and said, okay, as time passes, I will just absorb all the experiences? So there were two approaches. How did you approach the situation?
Okay, so very important question. Actually, I would say that a little bit of homework is necessary whenever you go to a new place. Okay,
Right.
so what I used to do was, like, I always did my homework. Homework
Okay.
means learning about their working style,
Correct.
learning about their working cultures, how they
Correct.
adapt. Okay, how much they involve personally into their
Hmm.
professional lives. Because in
Hmm.
India we have some limits of personal and professional lives, right? But in other
Hmm.
countries they have their own limits.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you do some of the homework, okay? What to
Hmm.
do, what not to do, okay? When you sit
Correct.
with them, when you talk with them, when you eat
Correct.
with them on a table, right?
Correct.
And then follow the flow of the majority in which you
Got
are
it.
present there at that time. So that's what
Got
I
it.
used to follow, and it helped
Right.
me a lot.
Right. So like a mixture of both, styles. Like that's what you did. Great. Thanks. Thanks. That I think was very insightful for our audience members. And it's clear. I think working in different regions is a very nuanced. Needs a very nuanced approach. So thank you for sharing that with us. Mr. Khan, telecom cloud solutions have become such a vital part of modern infrastructure, especially as businesses transition to more agile and scalable models. In your experience, what are some of the most uh, common challenges that organizations face when they're trying to integrate telecom cloud solutions? And more importantly, what strategies or best practices have you seen work well in overcoming those hurdles to ensure long-term success?
So the most common issue that I have found in the telecom sector nowadays is the lack
Right.
of technical expertise into cloud and NFV area. And this is because the traditional manpower that exists from years, since years, into the operators or the vendors, are basically wireless communication engineers, and they know very little about cloud and IT systems. Okay, so when it comes to cloud native architecture and technologies like OpenStack, Kubernetes, Linux, you need a whole different level of skill set, which is lagging in the industry. This is one. Another challenge is the inability of the operators, of the telco operators, to host their workloads on public cloud platforms. This is also one of the limitations. And why they are not able to do this? Because of data sovereignty issues, data localization challenges, mandates, vendor lock-in threats, high costing in the long term. It's a costly business if you host your workloads on the public cloud platforms. Okay, so this is also one of the challenges that most of the operators dealing with. Then there are integration issues. Why integration issues? Because the traditional telecom applications were not developed keeping the cloud native principles in mind. Okay. Now when you are trying to integrate those applications onto cloud platforms, you will face issues because of non-standard interfaces, because of unavailability of open APIs, all these things. Security remains a major issue because of the multiple layers of the technical stack present. Okay. So what I have personally done, like what I have contributed to solve these problems into my organization is, for example, like in my current role in Ericsson, I have contributed as a team member in creating a zero-touch deployment procedure for cloud radio sites, called as cloud RAN sites in telecommunication. So what you do here is like you have to deploy hundreds or thousands of sites to cater your telecom network, and this deployment is a cumbersome process. So what we have developed is a zero-touch process to this deployment using systems like OpenShift and Argo CD, using automation tools for infrastructure like Terraform and Ansible. Okay, and what we did, we followed a GitOps based approach. So GitOps is like DevOps in software. So what we do here is we host a code in a Git repo, and the code contains all the configurations of the network. And you do not have to touch any node of the network by physically logging in, manually logging in. You just change the code here in the Git repo, and the code will make the changes in the node remotely. So there are a whole lot of steps involved, and you integrate each step to work accordingly. So that's what I did. Okay. Then I also created some Linux Bash scripts for faster troubleshooting, and some more tools. I have enabled a lot of advanced features in the data center infrastructure for scalability, for network expansion, for disk updates and all. Right. So these are the things that I contributed, and above all, I always put myself into the customer shoes, which means that I have a habit of closely listening, then communicating clearly, and making a plan for faster troubleshooting and a quick restoration. So that has helped me a lot building my trust with the customers.
Makes sense. Yes. Thank you for your response. And it's really fascinating to hear how, you've looked at those real world challenges and opportunities, and, it sparked your creativity and, your problem solving skills. You've really highlighted how important it is to have the right frameworks in place. Mr. Khan, as telecom technologies like 5G and cloud solutions evolve, government policies are increasingly shaping their future.
Yeah.
Now, in your experience, how do you see regulations influencing the rollout of these technologies, especially in terms of balancing innovation with oversight? What do you think governments need to ensure smooth and sustainable development? With your vast knowledge in telecom infrastructure, we are curious to hear your insights on this crucial intersection of tech and policy.
Definitely. This is a great question, actually, and very relevant in today's time. I'll tell you what in my 2 decades of experience, I have witnessed how government policies can catalyze or constrain the rollout of technologies like 5G and cloud. Okay.
Correct.
Uh, for example, uh, in 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 US or China, these countries or South Korea, these are early adopters of technology always. If you see that whatever G comes like 4G or 5G, it comes first into these 3 4 countries. Okay, but in India we see a delay of 3 to 5 years in the deployment of both 4G and 5G technologies. And
Right.
what were the reasons? The reasons were delayed auction of the spectrum, costly auction of the spectrum, multiple layers of approval involved in these approval policies of spectrum and all, right? So
Right.
definitely governments play a crucial role in policy making and making it
Right.
easy for the industry to adopt it. Okay,
Hmm.
so technology is universal, technology is same, but it depends on how government policies and regional approaches makes it easier or difficult to manage. Okay,
Correct.
so definitely for our government, it is very much important to have a single window kind of approach for all the industry leaders and remove this multiple layer of reporting and approvals and
Hmm.
have a clear and concise policy, uh, of timely and cheaper auction of spectrum. All these things are
Hmm.
necessary. Apart
Hmm.
from that, for a sustainable development, I think that regulation and innovation should be synced. That means the policies should evolve with the technology and not lag behind them. Okay.
Okay.
And as industry leaders, we should help the government shaping the policies, not be completely dependent on them. That is what my
Okay.
view on it.
Okay. Okay. Right. I think that's really insightful because it's fascinating how government policies could either speed up or slow down the process, and which is definitely a factor to be considered when it comes to the evolution of telecom and tech as a whole. Looking ahead, Mr. Khan, what are some of your aspirations for the future, both on a professional and personal front, when it comes to leadership at the highest level, which is the boardroom, strategic decisions, policy making? So, how do you see yourself contributing or evolving in different spaces moving forward?
Yeah. So I consider myself as a lifelong learner, and I love learning new technologies, always exploring something new. So
Hmm,
in the
hmm,
near future or in the near term, I see myself deepening my expertise into cloud infrastructure solutions and building some optimized AI systems
hmm, hmm,
in this domain, because AI is moving on with a good pace. But how you use AI for your benefit, that too not much costly, right? So that's what I will try to bring into the telecom domain. So that is for the near term. Uh,
correct.
as far as my boardroom aspirations are concerned, I see myself as a strategic technical decision maker. Okay.
Okay.
And I see myself in the boardroom as the connector of dots for connecting all three things of like leadership,
Hmm,
business, and customer needs. Okay.
okay.
So with my broad technical expertise, I want to leverage this thing. And in the boardroom decisions, I can see myself helping organizations taking tough decisions into the technical domain, like scaling a new technology, like costing, making costing plans,
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
how security protocols will work and affect at the
hmm.
bottom line. Okay, so
Right.
these are some of my aspirations that I would like to see. Personally, I would also like to take a mentorship role formally within the organization and
Understood.
external also, because I
Hmm,
see great impact of sharing knowledge,
hmm.
coaching teams, and fostering a culture of continuous learning. So,
Okay.
I would like to continue this by taking a mentorship role and creating next generation of leaders around me. So that's what I I see myself doing in the.
Right. Thank you for sharing that with us, and we wish you nothing but continued success. As corporate governance becomes increasingly significant, especially with the growing importance of cybersecurity and data privacy in the telecom industry, how do you ensure that your team stays aligned with best practices in governance and compliance?
Yeah. Uh, again a very good question, because generally people don't think about the security aspect of the technical systems. So
Right, right.
see, security in today's technical network, or I would say in telecom network or any technical network in today's time, is actually a complex web of multiple layers. You cannot say that, okay, there is a single security switch that you have to on and off. No, you can do that right now. Okay.
Hmm.
So I myself see implementing security right from the development stage to the delivery stage. Okay,
Okay.
and there are multiple layers of technology right now, starting from hardware to network to Kubernetes and then to application. And each layer should be protected with their own best practices. Okay,
Hmm.
so when it comes to regulations, so we have some national regulations in security like CISA in US, ENISA
Okay.
in Europe, and
Okay.
CAC in China. But
Okay.
in India, we have some fragmented bodies doing this work, like CERTIN and DOT, Department of Telecommunication, and some other
Okay.
bodies
Okay.
which have overlapped responsibilities. So definitely in India, a strict security regulator is a requirement. Okay, which
Correct.
should help us protecting our technical systems, and which should have clear guidelines for securing the technical systems. Okay, right from hardware to CAS layer, and then protocols, software, network, everything. Okay,
Right.
operationally,
Eh,
how this can be done? This is
hmm.
also a question, right? So what
Right.
I advocate personally, and what I have implemented and I saw in my tenure in the organizations, is that we integrate policy driven security tools into the
Okay.
network or into the
Okay.
IT system. And when I say policy driven security tools, there are many tools. For example, like
Right.
Ericsson Security Manager, ESM. For
Okay.
example, like Nokia's NetGuard. So these are the
Hmm.
tools which are compliant to all these regulations that I talked about just now. Okay.
Correct.
And you integrate these tools in your network. They have
Right.
connections to all the machines and nodes that are there in the network, and they
Understood.
act like a threat management system from these systems.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
they remediate and they detect and remediate the threat in real time and gives
Hmm.
you a periodic report. Okay, so this kind of system can be integrated to combat security at each level. Okay, and
Right.
I do not see myself security only is just like a checkbox. I see that integrating such tools and enabling the teams through knowledge for evolving standards and
Hmm.
for evolving technologies can help bridge this gap. So you can have regular audits, you can have automated health checks and scripts, all these things, which can help you achieve a secure network and system in the organization.
Right. Right. Thank you. Thank you for that response, actually. And what surprised me is that while India is, when it comes to science and technology, telecommunications, etc., we are developing and at a really fast pace. But I'm a little surprised that we don't have a dedicated organization, when it comes to compliance or security. And there are these fragmented organizations that are taking care of that's something that's a little, considering that we are a highly populated country and literally everyone has a mobile phone in their hands. That's something that came as a little bit of a surprise to me. I was wondering why that is.
All is
Would you
this,
be able to?
all is this, but things are changing. And with time, I believe these developments will happen. So let's be hopeful of that.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. As we near the end of the interview, Mr. Khan, we know that you've recently become a part of Directors Institute, which is a platform that brings together some of the most influential leaders across industries. And so, could you share with us your experience or your motivation behind joining the Institute?
Yeah. So joining Directors Institute is actually been a very significant step in my career journey. With over 2 decades of experience into telecom and cloud, I thought
Right.
that now it's a good time to expand my horizon beyond
Hmm.
the technical expertise.
Correct.
And this is where the course ACDP, the Advanced Corporate Directors Program, in which I have registered, came in
Okay.
front of my eyes, and I inquired a little bit and joined the program. So this course is acting as a game changer. Now I am learning a lot of things, that
Hmm.
how it blends how the responsibilities of an individual director can be used with the relevance of ESG and digital transformation of yourself as a leader. Okay, so this is
Right.
helping me a
Right.
lot, and I am hopeful to get more insights for myself becoming a
Hmm.
good leader, and knowing all the nuances of business, the Companies Act, and all these things. Okay, so in all, this is helping me a lot transition myself from becoming a core technical expert to a good leader. Okay?
Okay.
So this is what I see forward, and I'm hopeful that I will become in a position of strategic leadership into the boardroom soon after the completion of this program.
That's fantastic. And we are glad that Directors Institute has provided you with such valuable insights. And all I can say is, wow, what an insightful conversation that we've had today with you, Mr. Khan. Uh, from navigating telecom innovations across the globe to mastering the art of cloud solutions, it's clear that leadership in technology is all about adaptability, vision, and, like you mentioned in your response, continuous learning. So, Mr. Khan, thank you again for sharing your journey, your wisdom, and the incredible value you've gained through your time with Directors Institute. So, we want to thank you again for joining us on FaceTime with Leaders and offering your insight and your wisdom and your advice. So,
No,
thank you
I'm
once again.
really humbled to be a part of this interview, and thanks a lot, yeah, for giving me this
Absolutely.
opportunity. Thanks.
And to all of you who are tuning in, I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am. Whether you're leading teams or paving your own path, there's always something to take away from stories like Mr. Khan's. Remember, growth is a constant journey, just like this podcast, and Directors Institute is here to help you every step of the way. So, if today's episode sparked new ideas or you're looking to level up on your leadership game, don't hesitate to explore more at Directors Institute. So thank you again for being with us on FaceTime with Leaders. This is your host, Priya George, signing off. Keep pushing boundaries, stay curious, and until next time, keep leading, keep evolving. Thank you and take care.